Two heads are better than one, the saying goes. But is that always true when those heads are lawyer heads? I'm Jeff M. Brown, legal writer with the State Bar of Wisconsin. I'm here today to talk with Bob Kasieta, owner of the Kasieta Law Group here in Madison. Bob is scheduled to be part of a panel discussion on the ups and downs of co-counsel during the State Bar's annual solo and small firm conference, which will be held October 19th to the 21st at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells. You can register for the conference by clicking the link in the video summary below. Welcome, Bob. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Jeff. It's good to be with you.
What are some of the common situations where people go in with another lawyer and do a co-counsel arrangement? I think those of us who have never been closer than a courtroom than watching Law and Order are familiar with multiple criminal defendants and each of them having their own lawyers. But what are some other common situations where there's co-counsel?
Well, sometimes because of the size of the case, two lawyers get involved so that they can split the costs of prosecuting a claim. At other times, there is a benefit in terms of somebody having some greater expertise in certain kinds of cases. Frequently with young lawyers, for example, newer lawyers, they'll try to partner with older lawyers if they have a small firm so that they can learn some of the skills they need and not have to turn away cases until they get that experience. It's hard to get that experience, and so that can be helpful. Sometimes it's really just a function of people needing additional workforce so that a case is demanding a lot in terms of discovery, and they have an opportunity to partner with somebody else and to help to get that done. One of the things I've been seeing lately is people contacting me and asking me whether I would be willing to try the cases because they are great with pretrial advocacy, but they're not terribly comfortable going into court because people just don't try as many cases anymore. So I've seen that sort of as a growing trend, at least in terms of my practice, people seeking me out to help with that, which is terrific.
What are some of the common issues you see with those co-counsel arrangements? Because you mentioned the mentoring situation, and I was talking to an attorney for an article last week, and he talked about how when he started out in a rural community, he had an office sharing arrangement with two older attorneys. They threw him some overflow work. In return, he got some real valuable mentoring experience. That was obviously something very informal, the mentoring. We're talking about something, or I suspect you're talking about something a little bit more formal. What are some of the issues that come up with a formal co-counsel arrangement?
Well, it's a great question. And one of the things that, let's start with the positives. One of the things that I think happens is a good deal more thoughtful advocacy. If I'm co-counseling with another lawyer, I have to communicate. I have to think through my ideas. Sometimes I have to defend my ideas when co-counsel says, I'm going to behave like opposing counsel and I'm going to question your strategies. And all of that is very healthy. All of that helps the case to develop. And so that's a real strength. One of the challenges that I think lawyers have to be honest about is how do they perceive their roles? If you have two very headstrong trial lawyers who are going to co-counsel a case, both of them thinking they will be doing the opening and the closing and the voir dire, that's going to be a problem. And to sort those things out early is a really helpful thing so that as the case develops, you don't have any kind of friction that could have been avoided simply by a clearer understanding at the outset.
Right. Give us a preview of the panel at Solo Small Firm. I think the description talks about some of the more nuts and bolts issues like fee splitting and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You guys do such a great job in organizing these events and hitting topics that matter for lawyers. And so what I really like people to understand about it is it's going to be practical. Sometimes I think we all have attended seminars, CLEs, where we got a lot of information, but none of it was really usable. Well, this is going to be on the other end of the spectrum. This is going to be information that certainly will touch upon the rules of ethics when it comes to fee splitting. It'll touch upon our professional obligations, but we're also going to talk about practical, very practical things that you can use starting from day one. And I hope that will make it very interesting, very exciting for the attendees. I know I'm looking forward to it.
As am I, Bob. Looking forward to seeing you and everybody else again this year at Wisconsin Dells, again, October 19th to the 21st. Thanks again for the time. See you next month.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. Take good care.